Please welcome Michael Medved. Hi, Michael. Nice to see you again. You were here once before, weren't you?
No.
You weren't here once before. Well, we were discussing that. We couldn't remember if you were here or not. Were you one day just sneaking around the studio?
I may have been.
That might have been you. This is really entertaining material here.
Thank you. It's very important material.
Important material. All right. Tell me now, what is the most expensive flop? And I guess, first of all, define a flop.
Well, a flop is a film that costs a lot of money and earns back very little at the box office. And in that regard, 1982 was a wonderful year for Hollywood flops, because that was a year of Heaven's Gate, which cost $44 million to make and earned back at the box office about $7 million, which isn't great, but is nothing compared to Inchon, which you may not remember. Inchon, which was produced by the Unification Church of Reverend Sun Myung Moon, cost $48 million. And to date, it's earned back less than $1 million.
Ooh, my.
Stars Laurence Olivier as General Douglas MacArthur, and he has to listen to lines like having his on-screen wife say, I know, Doug, you shall return, but not too late for dinner. Jacqueline Bisset is in it.
Yeah.
Ben Gazzara. Disastrous movie.
Yeah.
But in terms of just overall expense for a film, a lot of people don't realize that if you adjust for inflation, the most expensive film ever made is still Cleopatra. 1963. It cost $44 million back then, which adjusted for inflation is $112 million in today's terms.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Now, that wasn't the original budget, though, was it? It was going to be a little less money.
Yes, they originally started off, they were budgeted $2 million, and then the first, sort of ran a little bit of a cost overrun. The first problem was they were going to star Joan Collins as Cleopatra, but then they had the idea that they could get Elizabeth Taylor, and of course that inflated the budget, and
And of course, a couple of million for end dust for the costume there.
What happened, Liz Taylor didn't want to do the movie, and she was in her dressing room on another shoot, and they called her from 20th, and they said, do you want to do Cleopatra? And Eddie Fisher took the call, who was then her then husband. He said, hey, Liz, you want to do Cleopatra? She said, no. They said, well, they want to know, how much would you demand? She says, oh, tell them I'll do it for $1 million.
Right.
And she meant it as a joke. And they paid it to her. That was the highest fee a star had ever received.
Yeah.
And
I also think she said, I have my own costume. Wasn't that one of her? And then, of course, she went on to meet Richard, fell in love with Richard Burton, dumped Eddie Fisher.
Right.
That was in all of that, too.
That was part of the problem. She's made a wonderful contribution to this field. In fact, in the Hollywood Hall of Shame, we have an entire Elizabeth Taylor wing, a very spacious wing, to honor a number of her contributions.
Now, what other films has she been involved with?
Well, one of them that's very notable is a film called The Bluebird, which was the first Soviet-American co-production back in 1976. It's also the last Soviet-American co-production. And for this film, she was shooting in Leningrad, and she had heard that the food in Leningrad wasn't exactly gourmet quality. So in her contract, she stipulated that there would be an airlift to Leningrad from Beverly Hills, Chasen's restaurant. She had chili con carne flown in every week, which added something to the budget.
Now, is that true?
A number of people who worked on the production swear that it is. One thing that is very true, and was another one of her films in the Hall of Shame, is a movie she did called The Only Game in Town, which is a little intimate, intense personal drama starring Liz Taylor and Warren Beatty. It takes place entirely in Las Vegas. So where's the logical place to shoot it?
I would say Las Vegas.
Yes, you would say that, but Liz Taylor wouldn't. Liz Taylor would say Paris, because Richard Burton, the late Richard Burton at that time, was working in Paris with Rex Harrison on a film called Staircase. She wanted to be near him, so at the cost of $4 million, they recreated Las Vegas in France, made these huge models of casinos, and she's been in so many. Boom,
Okay,
Ash
let me
Wednesday.
ask you a couple of questions about this. Now, first of all, why would somebody say, oh, fine, we'll recreate Las Vegas in Paris? Why would somebody say, sure, we'll fly all the chili this woman wants into Leningrad? I mean, why doesn't somebody along the line say, no, this is not a good idea?
Well, of course, they've done that now with Elizabeth Taylor, and she can't make those kind of demands anymore.
Well, no, I don't mean just Elizabeth Taylor, but I mean anywhere along the line that these unbelievable cost overruns occur.
Well, people just get the idea that a certain star is magic, that they can't go wrong, and if we can just get that star in our picture, it's like printing money. And you even find it with some very unlikely people. Back in the 1930s, the #1 star in American radio, and a huge star in every way, was Kate Smith. And part of the reason for her popularity was that radio is a medium where you don't get a very good look at someone on the air. And
she was a huge star on radio.
Tremendous.
Well, no, I don't mean that, but she was.
No, Kate was actually 212 pounds at the time. And all the studios, however, were competing to sign her for a movie debut, and Paramount won the competition, that is, lost. and they starred her in a film called Hello, Everybody, which cost $3 million then, making it the most expensive movie musical ever made up to that time.
What year did you say it was?
1933.
Yeah.
And in Hello, Everybody...
And there she is saying those famous words.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Right. She's supposed to play an ingenue who falls in love with Randolph Scott. And she sings in the movie, which is fine. She acts in the movie, which is not so fine. But she also dances, which is disaster.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the front four of the Pittsburgh Steelers coming at you. We suggest if they had filmed it in Sense-Around, it could have been a very exciting release.
But again, you can't really blame the poor woman for that. I mean, she was, if somebody would offer you a lot of money to be in your own film, you'll say, of course.
Of course. No, it's the studios. It's the studios. And they do it time and again. There's just the idea that some star is going to be magic. You can't go wrong. Liberace.
Okay, give me a second here. We got to do a commercial. Before we talk about Liberace, now what happens, say, for example, Heaven's Gate. Now, how much did that cost?
It cost $44 million.
$44 million. Now, does that have any, when that doesn't do well, does that have any long, lasting effects on the motion picture industry?
It led to a lot of people being fired.
Yeah, but overall, does that change an attitude about filmmaking that will last 10, 15, 20 years?
You know, it's interesting. There was a lot of speculation when that film came out, and people couldn't understand how it cost $44 million, and we actually interviewed one of the assistant cameramen on the production. He said, oh, it's very simple. It was about $22 million he estimated for general production costs and another $22 million to provide relaxational for the cast and the crew. And that was his estimate. And the film, people talked about it and talked about it, said, never again will they give a director a blank check. It didn't work that way. They're still doing it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It seems like it goes on and on and on. Well, all right, let's go on. Let's talk about Liberace now.
Okay. Liberace was a huge TV star in the 1950s, the #1 TV star in the country. So all the studios wanted to sign him. The idea was to make him the new Valentino. He was going to be the new heartthrob for America's females. And Warner Brothers got the right to sign him in a film called Sincerely Yours. And in it, he plays a pianist, naturally. And in the course of the film, he's supposed to go deaf. Most of the audience wishes that he would go mute also. Because he delivers lines like, yes, I respect the classics, but from a sitting position, not from my knees. It's a...
Now, what does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't know. I didn't write the script. But
now, look at it. Can we see that picture again? Why exactly have they decided to touch chins here? What is it?
You'll notice that he has his eyes closed. That, of course, is Dorothy Malone. She's
that
one of the
damn crazy glue.
Yeah, the love scenes didn't actually sizzle with chemistry. With
the film did well, did not do well,
It did
bombed?
terribly. It cost a lot of money. They wouldn't even release. They paid Liberace so much to make it. They wouldn't even release the amount. And it did great business its opening weekend, but then the word of mouth was so disastrous that it went, as they say in Hollywood, right into the toilet.
Yeah.
Didn't do well at all. But another macho star, John Wayne, has also had his share of flops, which a lot of people are surprised at because he is probably the biggest box office star in the whole history of movies. But he did a movie in 1954 for Howard Hughes in which John Wayne plays Genghis Khan. It's a movie called The Conqueror, and it is a remarkable piece of work. You'll notice that he has a little Charlie Chan mustache and sort of lacquer eyebrows. He's done up a little bit to look like Boy George. And we actually have a clip from the film.
All right, and the name of the film again is The Conqueror.
John Wayne is Genghis Khan.
All right. Let's take a look at it.
That's something. That he's a suave Mongolian lover.
Yeah.
But one of the things, John Wayne was also in another film that we have in the Hall of Shame, which is The Greatest Story Ever Told, which was hailed by the critics as the longest story ever told. And that had a very peculiar casting in it. Telly Savalas plays Pontius Pilate. Jamie Farr and Robert Blake and Sidney Poitier are among the apostles. Shelley Winters plays... Really. It's true. Shelley Winters plays a leper, and John Wayne plays the centurion who supervises the crucifixion. And there's a great story about the shooting of that film, because he has only one line in the pictures. After the crucifixion, he's supposed to look straight at the camera and say, "Truly, this man was the Son of God." And the problem was the day that it came to film that line, he apparently was very well sauced, and he had to do 8 different takes before he got the line to the satisfaction of the director, George Stevens. So finally, George Stevens, in frustration, said, Duke, please, give me a little bit more awe when you deliver the line. Duke said, okay, and then said, "Oh, truly, this man was the Son of God."
No.
People who were there say it happened.
No.
Yes.
I'll believe the chili flown into Leningrad, but not that one. Very entertaining reading here. It's the Hollywood Hall of Shame. Harry is your brother.
Yes.
And Michael Medved. Michael, thank you very much for being here. Nice seeing you. Now, we're going to pause. We'll be back after station identification.